farm. Today I'm bringing you a family favorite soup. When I tell the kids I'm making Tuscan soup, they clear their schedules and show up. If you want your family to come to your house, just tell them you're making this soup. Believe me, they will show up. They love it. I have not told the kids I am making this soup today. So when they see the video, they're going to be a little cranky at me that I didn't tell them. I'm going to run through the list really quick of things that you need, and then we'll kind of go step by step. Bacon, I've already cooked off. We all know how to cook bacon. If you're not quite sure, if you haven't used the Instant Pot before, in this case you're going to chop 3 thick sliced bacon strips, put them in the Instant Pot, and cook them until they're done. Not black, not burnt, just done. What you're doing is you're rendering off some of that bacon fat to cook your sausage in next, but when the bacon's done, you take it out and set it aside. This will go back in later. 2 pounds of hot sausage. Now, I already started cooking some of it in here, and for time's sake, I'm kind of moving along here. This is the longest part of the whole thing, it's just cooking off the meat. So, if you don't want to use hot sausage, if you don't have family members that like spicy, by all means, use regular sausage, or if you don't find hot sausage at your local grocery store, just use some red pepper flakes. That way you can completely gauge the amount of heat. So you're going to have your Instant Pot on saute, and after you take out your bacon, I leave the bacon fat in here because I really like the flavor that it brings, and I also like that bit of a texture in the soup too. Like I said, this is a very, very simple recipe. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my grandma's Italian minestrone soup. Sans the pasta. There's no pasta in this one. There's potatoes in this one. And there are days when I'm not sure. Do I love potatoes more than I love pasta? I don't know. I try to be very careful with those items. Bread's my biggest enemy, although I have noticed, and I don't know if any of you have had this happen to you, I have noticed that when I make my homemade bread, and I do have a video coming out for that soon, as a matter of fact, after I'm done cooking this up today, I'm going back to Gigi's and throwing a loaf of my 5-minute artisan bread in the oven to have with this for dinner tonight. But when I eat the homemade bread that we make, I don't have the same, shall we say, calorie issues with it. I can look at a loaf of bread in the store and it's just like, well, that loaf's going here and that loaf's going here, and there you have it. There's my bread intake. It piles weight on me. It's horrifying, maybe because it's one of my favorite things. But the homemade bread has a different reaction. So preservatives, I'm not sure. We are definitely a family who likes to eat as fresh and well as possible. I have the luxury of being home and being able to cook, and a bigger luxury when I'm on the farm getting work done during the summer when I don't have as much time to be able to cook in that. I have Gigi that helps. So we're lucky here that we can eat less pre-made foods. Believe me, I understand as the girls were growing up how nice it is to just throw something in the oven that's already made. But in the case of this soup, you could make it ahead. It does freeze well. You can warm it up. So that's the thing too. You know, take a Sunday or whatever day that you go grocery shopping, come home, prepare stuff. Get your celery already chopped. Get your lettuce bagged up. Cook off your meats, what have you. It's one day, but I'll tell you, it makes the other 6 go by really quick. That was one of the little tricks I did when the girls were little, is I would try to have things already prepared, carrot sticks, apple slices, whatever in the fridge for us to all nibble on, because it's so easy to just go over to that bread, isn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and finish cooking off this, this sausage, the 2 pounds of sausage, and while that's going, I think what I will do is cut up some more potato. So here's the other things that you are going to need for your recipe. You'll need a tablespoon of oregano dried. You'll need 1 large onion chopped, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic chopped. I used 4 medium potatoes, but you can use 4 to 6 medium potatoes. Kale. I like kale better than spinach. My palate finds spinach to taste like dirt, just like beets. I It's just how it is. I don't care for it. When you are chopping your kale, whether you use bagged kale or fresh kale, you want to get rid of this rib. Even the bagged kale, they don't take it out. I don't like it. It's sort of a woody stem to me. I don't enjoy having that texture in my mouth. And I don't find that having it in the soup makes it any more pleasant. So I get rid of the ribs. Even in the bag kind, I will look through the batch and pull the ribs out. And I always have my compost bowl here because we know compost is liquid gold. We adore compost. So the other thing you'll need is 6 cups of chicken broth, and there you go. There's no butter. You just have a little bit of fat from the meats, which is all you need. You could add a bay leaf, my favorite thing. I don't happen to have one on me, so I can't add it to this particular batch, but if I have a bay leaf around, it goes in the pot as well, up to you. And that'll be on the blog. If you go to www.5dog.farm, I will have the recipe there with a printable so you can print it out and make it yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting this cooked off. Then we're gonna go to the onions, get those taken care of, and I'll take you through the rest of how quick and easy this is. So we'll be right back. Steamy. So I popped in the 1 large onion that we chopped. That's in here cooking up. You want to cook it until it's translucent, just a little bit transparent. So that's going and cooking up. While that's going on, I'm going to chop up the last potato. You want a 1/4 inch dice on your potato. And I always like to cut it in 3 lengthwise and then once down the middle. I like the flat bottom to work with so it doesn't slide out on me. And then just make your dice, again, a 1/4 inch size or thereabouts. You just want an even cook on it is what you're looking for. All right, so potatoes ready to go. Also, I had forgotten to mention, you're also wanting to put in at the very end, don't do it now, 1½ cups of heavy cream. So you kind of get that unctuous, lush feel on your tongue when you're eating this soup. And it's not a whole lot because you're doing 6 cups of chicken broth. My secret weapon, Worcestershire sauce. I'd say about a tablespoon. Love Worcestershire sauce. It just adds this flavor to me that it makes everything taste like it's been roasted, or just this flavor. I can't put my finger on it, but I really love the taste of Worcestershire sauce in most every type of meat I cook, even if it's chicken. Probably not so much fish, maybe salmon, but I don't know that I've used a lot with that. Okay, so the onions are looking translucent. I'm going to go ahead and pop in my garlic to get that releasing its aroma. And I'm going to put in my 1 teaspoon of oregano, which came from the garden this year. So that was really exciting. I dried it in the food process, in the dehydrator, and popped it in the cupboard, and there you go. Didn't have to go to the store to get it. Love that. Okay, so I'm giving this another moment just to sort of cook up and do its thing. So, like I said, we've got the sausage, we've got the onion, we've got the oregano, and we have the garlic in here. And I can smell that Worcestershire sauce, it's wonderful. So this will cook up for a little bit more, and then I'm going to get out the I'm going to get out the broth, and then we're going to put in the potato. So, again, 6 cups of broth. Super easy. I like to use organic when I don't have homemade. I haven't had a chance to make homemade, but with it being winter and things being slower on the farm, I think I'm going to do a video for you guys on how I do my broths. I almost always have a vegetable broth ready and waiting. I throw all of my vegetable peelings, whether it's carrot peelings Celery, we peel our celery. We don't particularly care for the strings in celery, so if we're making like stuffed celery with blue cheese or what have you, we'll peel that. That goes in the bag. The skin from the garlic, the skin from onions, I'd say the only skin we probably don't use is we don't do potato peelings, but any kind of vegetable that you might use, we throw that all in the bag, stick that in the freezer, and about the time I have a gallon-sized bag of peelings, I will whip up a vegetable broth, and we'll use it in the dog food just to wet the dog food a little bit, and I will freeze it and use it in all kinds of things, gravies, roasting a chicken. I like to have liquids at the bottom of the roasting pan so that you almost get a little bit of a mist or a steam. So even though the chicken will roast and brown, you still have this ability to keep it moist inside, and it always seems to do the trick. All right, so we have our broth in. I'm gonna turn off, if it hasn't already yet, turn off the saute because we don't need that anymore. And I'm gonna hold back, no kale, no bacon, no cream just yet. We're putting in the potatoes now. Careful, doesn't splash on you. It is warm. Potatoes are so versatile. I just love them. My grandma had taught me how to make homemade French fries, which I adore, and I will show you not only a homemade French fry recipe at some point, but I will show you how you can blanch them, which is a technique that not a lot of people use anymore, but you can blanch them and freeze them so you can have homemade frozen fries ready to go, and they cook up just as quickly as a bag of frozen fries would, but they're homemade and they don't have all of those oils in it that aren't any good for you. All right, so a quick stir. I'm telling you, I'm so glad the kids aren't around because if they smelled this, they'd come running. All right, pop it on the lid. I love that sound. And then make sure it's on seal. I've done it before where I've heard the Instant Pot going shh. It wasn't even close to being done yet. You want to set it on high and you want to cook for 10 minutes. Now for any of you who are new to an Instant Pot, you'll read instructions, cook for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I did a corned beef and cabbage the other day. It was an hour, it was 60 minutes. But when you're figuring things in, the Instant Pot has to build the pressure in order for it to start that countdown of 10 minutes or an hour or whatever your recipe calls for. So keep that in mind. Oh, it's gonna take 10 minutes. No, it might take more, like 20 or a half an hour, depending on how big your pot is. This is a 6 quart. I have a 3 quart. I have an 8 quart. I use all of them depending on what I need to make. And obviously, the less you have in it, the longer it takes to come up to pressure, the longer it will take to cook. However, that being said, I swear by this. I wish I had learned about pressure cookers years ago. I think the thought of them scared me a bit. My grandma had one, but I was really little when she used it, and it was always, okay, Nikki, don't come here, stay away. So maybe that was part of it. I don't want to have anything to do with this thing that could blow up. It's a godsend. I love it. Set it, forget it. But if you don't have one, if you're a little concerned like me about pressure cookers, rest assured, these are fantastic. If you're interested in picking one up, I have a link down below here in the show more area. You can get the 6 quart that I'm showing here, or whatever size works good for you, but I'm telling you, they are a wonderful, wonderful item. I love them. So, with that being said, let's give this the 10 or 30 minutes that it needs to cook down. We're gonna come back, we'll add the last of the ingredients, and then I think I might surprise Gigi and do a taste test with her. What do you think? All right, so we have reached the 10-minute rest point. I think before I had said to put it for high pressure for 10 minutes. No, it's a cool down, a natural cool down for 10 minutes. You actually just cook it at high pressure for 5 minutes. And again, the whole recipe will be on the blog, and you'll be able to print it out so you don't go through, what did she say? So anyway, we've done the cool down, the natural pressure release. Woo! We're still letting off some of the residual steam. After that stops, then we put in the kale that you remember we went through and took the ribs out. It's just a nice extra step to get that chewy, woody stem out. It's not enjoyable. And we're going to go ahead and put in the bacon. So we're going to wait for this to blow off some steam. And we'll be right back and get the kale popped in here. I knew Gigi would want to do a taste test because she loves our Tuscan soup. And our motto is, if it's in front of us, it's probably our favorite thing. But in this case, I have to say, this is probably one of the top 3 favorites that we have in the family. Everybody really enjoys this soup because it's just so delicious and so simple. So let's dig in really quick and see if it came out okay. I did not add a bay leaf. I forgot to bring a bay leaf to Jamie's.
No bay leaf.
I know. I could put it in now and let it sit overnight if there's any left. Yes. Now last time I made it, I didn't use the hot sausage, the sausage that already has the peppers in it. I like the heat in this sausage. What do you think?
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
Bijou just sat down at the table. She wants some too. So for us, the heat that's in this sausage, I don't have to add the pepper flakes later on. We'll just do it that way. But like I said, if you don't like heat at all, use a mild sausage. Later today, I just happened to know I was going to make this yesterday, which I never planned, but I decided I wanted to make this soup, and it turned out to be rainy today.
The weather.
It's perfect. So I had started our 5 Dog Farm artisan bread, which is 4 ingredients, so ridiculously easy. You just use your Dutch oven and yeast, flour, water, and a little bit of salt. And you let it sit overnight, you pop it in here, you put it in the oven, bing bang boom, it is done in no time.
Oh, so good.
Super crusty.
With this kind of a soup too. Oh boy.
Yes, and in this particular one, I added Italian seasonings and a little bit of onion powder because I thought that would be tasty. So I'm going to put that in the oven later, and tonight we will have ourselves several bowls of warm Tuscan soup and our crunchy bread. I have done a video on the bread. I haven't had a chance to edit it yet, but I'll get it up onto the blog as soon as I can and link things for you. So if you're going to make the soup, do make the bread to go along with it.
And put Parmesan cheese on top of it under the oven.
You can't go wrong with Parmesan cheese, especially with an Italian soup. So from Nikki D and Gigi, please give this soup a try. Let us know what you think.
You'll love it.
If you made any changes to it, you heard, you're gonna love it. Now we're just gonna eat.